1940, a young Chinese student made his way through war-torn Singapore. It was World War II, and Singapore was such a dangerous place. Thousands of people were being killed, and it wasn't strange for an entire family to be wiped out overnight under this brutal, inhumane regime of the Japanese Imperial Army. But for this young man, he was not deterred. Not once did he waver in his resolve. In fact, he was so outraged by these crimes against humanity that he even formed a student rebellion against these foul oppressors. This young man's name was Lau Pang Su. He is my greatest hero, my biggest inspiration in life, and he is in fact also my grandfather. Contest chair, fellow Toastmasters and guests, I hope that his story today will inspire you too to have great courage in your own darkest of days. I have to say, I think we're very lucky though. I doubt any of us today will ever have to go through the horrors that he had to endure during the war. Although in saying so, having seen the awful devastation in Christchurch, Japan, US, and now in Albany with that tornado, I don't think any of us can truly take life completely for granted. I learned this very lesson many years ago when I did my overseas experience in England. I'd just gone over, I had no friends and family, a dwindling supply of money, and I just couldn't find a job for weeks. The only person I felt I could talk to was Grandad, and when I spoke to him, I knew he was going to be so understanding to me, because when I called him, his first words to me were, "Joe, quit your bloody whinging!" He was joking, of course, but I got his message, and he went on to give me some great, wonderful, practical advice. But the thing that I will remember most clearly is at the end of every single conversation, he would say to me a specific phrase in Chinese. He would say to me, "Joe, do bao zhong." Roughly translated, this means good journey to you. But whenever he said it to me, I would feel so much better and ready to take on the world again. Speaking of taking on the world, we flash back to World War II Singapore, where things were getting too hot for Grandad. The Japanese army was out to kill him, so he had to run away. He fled to Malaysia. By 1945, as you know, the war was over. People could begin rebuilding their lives, and for Grandad, something wonderful happened. For him, it was better than winning Lotto or the Nobel Peace Prize, all squished into one, because guess what? He met my grandmother. They were instantly in love, and they decided to ship out. They moved to a jungle town in Malaysia. This town was called Kapit. Now Kapit was a really dangerous place because there was a river that ran alongside it, infested with crocodiles. These crocodiles would leap up, grabbing hold of people and pull them back down into the river and then eat them. But for Grandad, not only did he survive this place, he prevailed. And with his newfound success, he, Grandma, and the entire family moved again, this time to the boomtown of Cebu. Grandad and Grandma got into property investment. Grandma had this great keen eye for spotting really good deals. And they did so well together that Grandad literally became the Donald Trump of Cebu, complete with name badge. After a few years, they moved again, this time finally settling in the extreme brutal of Canada. They carried on with the business and prospered for decades to come. By the year 2000, something very sad happened to Grandad. He contracted cancer. But even in the face of this killer disease, he stood strong. Despite the pain and the agony that racked his body, he was still more concerned about his friends and his family. The doctor said he's going to die by a certain day, but he blasted well beyond that. But as is the case with cancer a lot of the time, there would be no happy ending. By the year 2005, he just got sicker and sicker. I was so worried about him that I would call him every single day. And I remember one particular day, it was weird, I felt compelled to ring him. I'd already spoken to him an hour ago. And when I called, my uncle picked up the phone instead. And he said to me, "Joe, I'm really sorry to tell you this, but the doctors are here, and it's the last time here to say goodbye to Grandad." I was stunned. How was I supposed to feel? What was I supposed to do? What is anyone supposed to do when they're put on the spot like that? say something. I felt words tumbling out of my mouth in a haze. But I felt the warmth got through. But the thing that I will remember most clearly is at the end of that conversation, I said to him a phrase that he used for me in my own darkest of days. I said to him, "Granddad, door, bao, zhong." And with that, I bid farewell to the greatest hero in the world to me. And even though he has passed on, he continues to live on in here, and in the hearts of his friends, and in the hearts of his family. Right now, he is giving me so much strength. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, in life, we will always be challenged. We will always have obstacles thrown at us. But like Granddad, we must learn to never, ever give up. Because in any given situation, there is always hope, so we must cling to it. And I hope that with this small fragment of a story today, that you too will be inspired to have great courage in your own darkest of days, especially to our poor brothers and sisters suffering in Christchurch, Japan, and US right now. I bid you all, door, well, John, good journey.